Now I've got a fun pattern for you today, folks. I was just flipping through my books looking for some dry fly pattern that I'd never seen before or never tried. And I found one in Terry Hellekson's Popular Fly Patterns, published in 1977. And the pattern is called the Sureshot. It's just a Mayfly, dry fly, pretty much an attractor pattern. It was created by Roger Nash of Denver. He didn't say what year, but as the book was published in 1977, we know it's at least 50 years old. Now it's a pretty simple pattern, not hard to tie, no exotic materials, but I think it looks pretty cool and I am looking forward to getting out there and giving it a try. So there it is in the vise, the Sureshot, created by Roger Nash of Denver, probably sometime in the 70s, I'm guessing. Now I'm tying this on a size 12. This is standard length barbless dry fly hook. I think it's an Ahrex 531 if you're curious about that. And I'm going to use some black thread. I believe this is a 70 denier. Catch it in, bring it back here to the start of the bend. And the tail on this one, just white calftail. So not a big clump, but go ahead and put it in your stacker if you can. This stuff doesn't always stack well, but sometimes it does okay. And let's catch this in kind of long. You know, we don't want it to be insignificant. It's a major part of the fly, I would say. So several wraps to secure that, and I'm going to leave these butt ends in just for a little bit so that I can bulk up my body a little. Go about right there. We don't have to go all the way up because we're tying more calftail in for wings, and we can kind of fill in that gap with these here in just a second. So go ahead, take a thread, maybe 3 eye lengths back, and cut another tuft of this white calftail, and maybe this one a little bit more. I'm also going to put this one in the stacker. And I'm going to open this one up with the tips going forward. Okay, that's stacked okay, I would say. And catch this in, envision flipping it up and making it the length of the wings you want. So do a little pinch wrap right there, several tight wraps going back, and I'm getting to about where I stopped wrapping that tail so that I can kind of keep my body a little bit smoother right here. Might not be able to really tell, but I can bury that little lump right there, and maybe my body is just a little bit smoother there. And now we're going to prop these up and split them. That's why we wanted a little bit more. Now it's not always easy to tie a huge tuft of calftail in, but we tried. So okay, that's a fair tuft right there. So before I split it, I'm actually going to just put a couple of wraps around to bunch it up, almost like I'm doing a parachute post. It's not going to be a parachute post, they are going to be split, but that just might make it a little bit easier. And you can either do this part with your fingers or take a bodkin. Sometimes it's easier with a bodkin to just kind of evenly split these. And if you don't get it perfectly even, I wouldn't sweat too much, but I'm going to take 2 wraps back to front on that side, and then I'm going to go 2 wraps front to back over on this side. So there's my wing, and it's split. I think that's going to be just fine. You could also, we could do another wrap up under them if you wanted to, but we don't want to push them back together. So this is thin enough thread, I can get away with doing one more X wrap in between them. And now, okay, I like that wing, how I've got it split right there. I'm going to take my thread back and catch in the rib. And the rib on this one, just single strand, yellow floss. So I'm going to catch this in close to the back. We can pull that short so we don't have any to trim. That should be fine right there. And this is maybe 3 or 4 inches. We don't need that much for a single rib. And now the main body, just Peacock Herl. Got a couple strands right here, and I've already worked through the real brittle part on this one. But if you're using 2 brand new strands, yeah, catch them in a couple inches back so they're less likely to break on you. They might still anyway, but you know, hopefully I'm using some stronger barbs right there. Try to get that yellow floss out of my way, you know. That's why I have a magnet. So just park it over here with the magnet. And my thread, it's a little bit behind those wings because I'm going to heavily hackle this with some brown hackle here in just a second. So that's about as far up as I want my body. Let's go ahead and catch this off with 2 or 3 fairly tight wraps right there. And now we'll wrap this rib, and I'm going to counter wrap it. And remember, this is a floss. You can kind of treat it like thread. You can counterclockwise spin it to flatten it out, or clockwise spin it to kind of cord it up. So let's counter wrap this here. We'll do 1 wrap and see if that's going to be a wide enough rib. I think that is. Maybe I can just tighten it up a little bit more. Don't want a real wide rib because then I'm trapping an awful lot of this peacock herl. And I want, for the most part, I want all that peacock herl showing, but I also want some of this yellow. So I think we got a nice little mix right there of herl and yellow rib. And now for the last component, just some brown dry fly hackle. Coachman brown, right there, 1 to 1.5 times the hook gap. And I'm going to catch this in far enough back behind that wing that I can get, you know, maybe 3 wraps, maybe even 4 wraps behind the wing. And on this fly, my wing's a little bit close to that eye, so I'm probably only going to get 2 up in front of it. But that's fine as long as I can get several wraps behind it. All right, let's wrap it up and see what it looks like. Okay, I think that's 4 behind it. Let's see if we can get 2 up in front. Now I am starting to crowd my eye a little bit. Whoa, it slipped and everything unraveled. Now if that happens, just start over and do the exact same thing. Let's try to get 4 full wraps behind it. And again, I'm going to try and get 2 up in front of it without letting it slip out of my fingers. Okay, I think this is heavily hackled enough. I'm going to snip this excess right here and then just try to pull everything back, create a little flat area, and make room for my whip finish. So taking a look at this one, yeah, I got a couple of barbs going forward that I might trim, but I could put a drop of head cement on it and I still got plenty of room to get my tippet up through that eye. So that's it, my friends. I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care and we'll see you next time. All right, folks, thanks for sticking around. I know some of you astute observers will have noticed that the backdrop is different in this video because this is the first video I'm making in my new tying room here at the farm. So the last several weeks, 3 or 4 weeks or so, have been pretty much moving, but we're for the most part settled. I only have maybe 1 more trip planned back to the old house. Still got a lot of work to do to get the tying room here ready. I'm not sure how the acoustics are going to work or the lighting. Still got to arrange the pegboard over there and some of the shelves, and might even change the backdrop, make that just a little bit more fun. But I'm really almost there. So I'm hoping to be back into a regular routine of publishing at least 1, maybe 2 videos a week. So those of you who have wondered where I've been, well, that's it. But it is good to be back, and I'm looking forward to getting back into my routine.